So as this muscle shortens, the opposing muscle group has to live there. Okay? So we get immediate feedback to opposing muscle group that says, okay, this muscle is tightening, this muscle needs to relax. So by training some of the musculature on the back side, we're going to create neuromuscular feedback to those opposing muscle groups to say, okay, you need to relax so I can gain this rotation, or I can gain this in range, whatever I need here. So by just contracting musculature that opposes that muscle that's shortening, okay, we can help out mobility issues. Okay? So that's specifically on how is crossover symmetry helping my overhead mobility. Okay? It's by contracting muscles that will cause reciprocal inhibitions to feedback to those muscles that are tight. Okay? Second piece we need to talk about is the whole concept behind activation. It's not, so the amazing thing is people start working out and they get so strong so fast. So you have someone who hasn't worked out in a long time, okay, and their immediate response to exercise is incredible. Okay? That strength curve immediately skyrockets, and then it'll start to plateau, and you'll notice that after you do strength training for a while, 5-pound gain in your squat is huge. Yes, it's awesome. Okay, whereas 5 pounds, you could put on 20 pounds on someone's squat in just 1 week. Okay? And it's not an issue of adding muscle mass. Okay? It's going to take at least 6 weeks to add any sort of contractile fiber to that muscle tissue. So it's not going to be adding more muscle mass. Okay? The issue is going to be you taught the brain how to move the muscle better. Okay? You're actually making the brain stronger, not necessarily the muscle stronger. So if you've ever heard the concept of grease the groove, okay? The idea behind grease the groove is I want to get better at push-ups. Okay? So rather than doing as many push-ups as I can and then make myself sore for the rest of the day, say my best set of push-ups is 30. Okay? I'm just going to do 10 push-ups about every hour. Okay? Just drop down, do 10 push-ups. Okay? Every hour, just drop down, do 10 push-ups. Okay? We can see a massive gain in push-up response because we've just taught the brain how to train that movement pattern better. Okay? That's really what we're doing with crossover symmetry, the activation protocol that is we're greasing those movement patterns so that when we get under a barbell or we get under something else, we have all of that put together so we can move better with a heavier load. Okay? So don't get caught up in how much weight you're moving on activation. Get caught up in how well do you feel moving. And that's the most important part of that. Any questions about that one? All right, this is the last piece is my absolute favorite. It's, in the study of motor control, how do we teach people to move better? It started out in scientists said, okay, the brain tells muscle how to work, and ready, set, go. Now there's something called the degrees of freedom problem. The degrees of freedom problem says, if you look at any action, okay, so let's say getting a barbell over my head at the top of this overhead squat. Okay, I have an infinite number of ways that I can get a barbell from the floor to overhead. Okay? If I look at every angle that my joints can do, okay, by one joint, changing one joint, it changes every other joint above it to finish out that movement. Okay? And that's the biggest problem motor behaviors have to struggle with or have to figure out is how does the body say, okay, I'm going to do snatch, ready, go. And for every person, there's going to be an infinite number of ways that body can organize around that one movement pattern. Okay? And so honestly, the answer is they don't know. Right? Scientists don't know. Why does everybody have a different sort of snatch? Okay? And it looks different for everyone. And then why is there not an optimal position for everyone? Okay? Why is everyone's always going to look different, even at the highest level of performance? Okay? So like I was saying, it started with just the central processor. So the brain said, okay, ready, snatch. Okay? But there's too many problems. It doesn't account for the infinite number of ways that body can move. It doesn't account for the speed of the feedback. And so they started saying, okay, well, maybe we're getting, it's a loop. So the brain tells the muscle what to do, the muscle feeds back, and it keeps going this loop. So we get this feedback loop. Okay? But that works too slow. Okay? Your body can't react that fast. Okay? And so all these theories keep coming out. And this is the most correct theory. It's called the dynamic systems theory. The dynamic systems theory says the body's going to take every constraint, okay? So that's going to be every limiter within that body, and it's going to organize the best movement pattern around that constraint. Okay? And so the theory behind dynamic systems is the best way to help someone learn how to move is to create what we call coordinated structures. So by creating coordinated structures, we're going to start creating constraints around how the body moves. So let's use the example of throwing a baseball. Okay? You give someone a baseball, they're going to start out with just a segment. Right? And they're going to throw a baseball. It's not going to throw very fast. We'll see this in every movement we do. And we say, okay, I want you to do a clean. And it's going to be really bicep-y. It's going to look like a reverse curl. And then from there, we're going to say, I'm going to add a little bit of weight to this. Or I want you to throw the ball faster. Okay? And after enough repetitions, that body will start to understand. It'll start putting segments together, creating what we call coordinated structures. So throwing that baseball is going to go from this one segment. Okay? And after enough reps, it's going to turn into a full body movement. So using that open kinetic chain. Then now you're level 1. That's how we move better by using that kinetic chain. So what we can do with crossover symmetry is create coordinated structures around certain movement patterns. We saw that on the first 3. So the first 3 is we created that retraction. Okay? Then we created retraction and external rotation. Then we created retraction, external rotation, posterior tipping. So what we did is we built upon, or we layered movement patterns to build into this one global